Welcome, fellow seekers of the macabre. Tonight, we're diving into the chilling tales of 5 haunted hostels that will make you think twice about booking your next stay. Dim the lights, grab a blanket, and prepare to be unnerved. Let's begin. But before we start, I'd like to ask for your support by subscribing to the channel. Right now, only 30% of people watching our videos are subscribed, and your subscription will really help us keep creating more of these horror videos for you. Thank you so much for your support. And now sit back and relax and enjoy the video if you dare. Pinecrest Youth Hostel. Nestled deep within the Blackwood Forest, Pinecrest Youth Hostel was built in the 1960s as a retreat for young travelers and adventure seekers. It offered cozy bunks, hot meals, and easy access to hiking trails. But what started as a haven soon became a breeding ground for malevolence. By the mid-1970s, reports of strange occurrences began trickling in. Guests complained of hearing disembodied footsteps at night, their belongings moving on their own, and the inexplicable feeling of being watched. The staff dismissed these claims as overactive imaginations, or so they said. But what the staff didn't mention were the missing persons. Between 1974 and 1982, over a dozen young travelers vanished without a trace. All of them had stayed at Pinecrest Youth Hostel shortly before disappearing. Local authorities searched the hostel and surrounding forest, but found no evidence, no blood, no signs of struggle. It was as if these people had been plucked out of existence. The hostel closed its doors in 1983, leaving behind a legacy of fear and unanswered questions. For decades, Pinecrest remained abandoned, a grim curiosity for urban explorers and thrill seekers. Those who ventured inside reported the same phenomena: whispers in the dark, shadowy figures lurking in the corners of their vision, and an overwhelming sense of dread. But one account stands out. But perhaps the most disturbing part of the story is the rumor surrounding the hostel's origins. Locals whisper about a cult that once used the land for rituals, sacrifices made to appease something ancient, something hungry. The hostel's foundation, they say, was built on an altar, and it is said that anyone who stays there leaves a piece of themselves behind. Today, Pinecrest Youth Hostel remains off limits. The forest has reclaimed most of it, hiding its secrets. But those brave or foolish enough to visit speak of an overwhelming compulsion to return, as if the hostel calls them back, whispering promises of answers, or perhaps an end. Blackwell House Hostel. Blackwell House was built in 1832 as a private residence for the wealthy Blackwell family. But their lives were far from idyllic. In 1847, the matriarch, Eleanor Blackwell, was accused of poisoning her husband and 2 children after a series of mysterious deaths in the household. She claimed to hear voices urging her to do so. Eleanor was sent to an asylum, and the house was abandoned. But not for long. By the late 19th century, the building was repurposed as a boarding house, but its tenants reported strange happenings. Doors slamming on their own, chilling screams at night, and the sensation of being watched. The Blackwell legacy of death and despair seemed to haunt the very walls. Today, Blackwell House operates as a hostel for travelers. Its affordable rates lure in unsuspecting guests, but many leave before their stay is over, or worse, they don't leave at all. A guest told us I stayed there for one night, just one night. Around 2 a.m., I woke up to the sound of scratching on the walls. I thought it was rats, but when I turned on my phone flashlight, I saw claw marks appearing, as if something was scratching from the inside of the wall. Guest 2 told us I'll never forget the laughter. It wasn't human. It was like a child's laughter, but distorted, echoing down the hallways. I tried to leave, but the door to my room wouldn't unlock. It was like something wanted me to stay. Blackwell House's reputation isn't just based on ghost stories. Since it reopened as a hostel, at least 5 guests have vanished without a trace. The hostel's owners claim ignorance, chalking it up to travelers who simply moved on without notice. But what really happened to them? The cases are eerily similar. Each person checked into Blackwell House, left their belongings behind, and was never seen again. One guest journal was found, and the final entry read, "They come at night. The walls are alive. Blackwell House Hostel is more than just a budget-friendly place to stay. Its dark history and the disturbing experiences of its guests make it one of London's most haunted locations. If you're brave enough to stay, just remember, you've been warned. The Desert Ridge Hostel in Nevada. The Desert Ridge Hostel in Nevada. A hidden speck on the map, buried deep in the barren wasteland of the Mojave Desert. Travelers see it as a beacon of rest, a reprieve from the relentless heat and isolation. But for some, it's the last stop they'll ever make. This place has been shrouded in whispers and rumors for decades. Those who've stayed there talk about more than just strange noises in the night. They talk about something darker. Guests report encountering the caretaker, an enigmatic woman who seems to appear out of nowhere. Her icy stare feels like it pierces right through you. Welcome to Desert Ridge. You'll sleep soundly here. Room 13. Many say it's the heart of the darkness that plagues the Desert Ridge Hostel. Those who sleep here rarely make it out. And if they do, they're never the same. Guests describe the feeling of being watched. Some wake up unable to move, paralyzed as shadows loom over their beds. Others hear whispers in languages they can't understand. The entities in the Desert Ridge Hostel aren't just spirits. There's something worse. Some believe they're remnants of a ritual gone wrong, performed decades ago by the original owner. In 1978, 12 people vanished in one night. The only clue was the owner's body, found in the basement, surrounded by occult symbols. Locals believe he summoned something he couldn't control. I stayed there last year. Around midnight, I heard footsteps outside my door, but when I opened it, no one was there. Then I saw this figure at the end of the hallway. It wasn't human. It just stared at me. Many guests report fleeing in the dead of night, abandoning their belongings. Others, they're never heard from again. The Desert Ridge Hostel still stands, waiting for its next victim. If you're ever driving through Nevada and you see that sign, do yourself a favor, keep driving. Because once you check in, you might never check out. The Dark Secrets of Castle Hill Hostel, Austria. The story begins over a century ago. Castle Hill Hostel wasn't always a refuge for weary backpackers. In the late 1800s, it served as a sanatorium for patients suffering from tuberculosis, a place meant for healing. But some say it became a house of despair. Many who entered these walls seeking treatment never left. Reports suggest that hundreds died here during the height of the tuberculosis epidemic. And their restless spirits? Some say they never left either. Travelers who stay here often report hearing strange noises at night. Footsteps echoing down empty hallways, doors slamming shut on their own, and whispers coming from rooms no one has checked into. Legend has it, the mirror in room 4 was brought here from the original sanatorium. Guests who stay in this room claim to see faces in the glass. Faces that don't belong to anyone staying at the hostel. The area around Castle Hill has always had an air of mystery. There are old stories about a doctor who worked at the sanatorium, Dr. Weiss. He became obsessed with finding a cure for tuberculosis and was rumored to conduct unethical experiments on patients. Some say his victims still haunt the hostel, seeking justice. The basement is said to be the most active area for paranormal encounters. Staff refuse to go down here alone. It's cold, damp, and the air feels heavy, almost like you're being watched. Whatever's lurking here, it doesn't seem to want visitors. Castle Hill Hostel is a place where history and horror collide. Whether you believe in the paranormal or not, one thing is certain. This place leaves an impression on everyone who visits. The question is, would you dare to spend a night here? Hoshi no Yuru, Japan. The tale of Hoshi no Yuru dates back centuries, rooted in rural Japan. Villagers would speak of figures draped in starlight, known as the Hoshisha, star walkers. These beings appear ethereal, almost human, yet something about them feels wrong. They glide instead of walk. Their eyes shimmer like galaxies, and their voices echo as if spoken from the depths of space. According to the legend, The Hoshisha are not benevolent. They are celestial scavengers, drawn to the human soul. Those who are caught gazing too long at the stars during this night risk being lured into their embrace. And once they take you, you're never seen again. One of the most chilling accounts of Hoshi no Yoru is the story of Yuki, a 16-year-old girl from a small mountain village. Yuki loves stargazing. Her father often warned her about Hoshi no Yoru, but she dismissed it as a silly superstition. On the fateful night, the stars were brighter than ever before. Yuki felt as though she could reach out and touch them. She didn't notice the silence that had fallen over the village. No insects, no wind, just her and the stars. Her father, realizing she was missing, searched the fields. When he found her, she was standing still, staring upward with empty, glassy eyes. He tried to shake her, but her body collapsed like a puppet with its strings cut. Yuki's soul was gone, taken by the Hoshisha. Her body remained, but she was no longer herself. But what are the Hoshisha? Are they yokai, spirits of the dead, or something far more sinister? Some believe they are remnants of celestial beings, jealous of humanity's connection to the earth. Others claim they are alien entities who use Hoshi no Yoru as a means to harvest human energy. In recent years, there have been reports of strange occurrences during starry nights. People vanishing, strange lights, and even unexplained deaths. Could it be the Hoshisha? Or is it just a human mind playing tricks in the dark? One thing is clear. The legend of Hoshi no Yoru is a warning. If you ever find yourself under an impossibly starry sky in Japan, and the world grows eerily silent, don't look up. Resist the pull of the stars. These are just a few of the haunted hostels where the past refuses to rest. Until next time, sleep tight if you can. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon if you dare. Stay safe, stay curious.